Lots of moving and shaking in the pits. 24 degrees Celsius here at the minute, 68% humidity. The rain we were predicted is thankfully holding off for the time being at least. Track's been kept in superb condition all week long here in Araxá. There they are. Nino Schurter and his mechanic Yannick. Let's head down to hear what Viktor Koretsky has to say.
Victor, first race back in the World Cup. How are you feeling ahead of this one?
I feel super happy to be here for the first one of the season. Like now, it's the result of all your winter work. So yeah, I can't wait now. It's so close, and yeah, I'm so happy also to race with this jersey. So yeah.
You look good in the jersey. Where are you going to attack out there? Where are you going to be able to capitalise?
I don't know. Gonna be a super tactic race today because now the last part of the course it's a little bit different compared to last year. So yeah, you need to be super tactic and wait the last minute. So we'll see.
And what's your goal today? Where do you want to come?
Where?
Obviously you want to win, but what success look like for you?
I don't know. Like here it's yeah, you never know. Like you asked me where. Sorry.
What success look like for you?
What I think.
It's very loud. Don't worry. You know what? Get your head in the race. Enjoy it. Well done.
Super relaxed, as I mentioned, Viktor Koretsky, and I can tell you now, the commentator's curse has struck again, and it is now raining here at the start-finish line in Araxá. We are getting ready to get the fastest riders in the world onto the front row. Simon Andreasen, the reigning European champion, on his new team, Orbea. You can see the rain just starting to fall, the brollies are up. The media scrum continues down there on the grid. And here they are. Filippo Colombo, what a roller coaster of a season the Swiss racer had last time out. Scott Schramm, Cape Epic winner, of course, this off-season. Keen to see what's left in the tank after that multi-day stage race in South Africa with his teammate and partner for that race, Nino Schurter. Not an easy ride through the bush, I'm going to suggest. Here he is, starting his 21st season of UCI World Cup racing. Nino Schurter, yet to win a short track World Cup. Last year stung a bit, he admits. He wants to get back to his very best for a couple of big races in Switzerland later in the year. Adrien Boissy for Specialized Racing. Took a few months off after missing out on the Olympics last year, cooked himself a bit. His teammate Viktor Koretsky telling us earlier in the week that he is one of the men to watch here. Luca Braido flying the flag for Villiers Vitoria. Looking to get back on the top step again. It's been too long for him since he was last up there. 2022, in fact. Fourth at the Olympic Games, though, Braido, in the summer, so he'll roll into this season with some good confidence. Here he is. The puppy becomes one of the big dogs. Charlie Aldridge for Cannondale Factory Racing. Happy and relaxed as ever around the venue this weekend. The jumps here in Araxá, almost too short for this man, actually. He likes to send it, as does this man, Chris Blevins for Specialized Racing. Huge presence here this weekend, Specialized Racing. Had an all-action trip last time he came to Brazil. Won last year in Maripora, of course. Former UCI world champion. This discipline. On the specialized epic. Matthias Flukiger. He's back after a season full of redemption. Super, super strong at the Olympic Games. The Swiss star. When the going gets tough, this man gets going. Flukiger. Well up for this year, but here he is, the boss. Viktor Koretsky, Specialized Racing. If you're gonna win today, chances are you're gonna have to beat this man. Rarely makes a mistake in cross-country short track. Joining me in the booth is Viktor Koretsky, joins his rivals in the front row, Ollie Beckinsale. This man, different animal this season, really relaxed.
Yeah, I mean, last year, what a season he had from start to finish. World champion as well, medal at the Olympics, short track wins galore. Yeah, he's the man at the moment.
The media scramble off the start-finish straight. There you can see on your screens. The sun has now come back out, but it's still raining. Koretsky, Flukiger, Blevins, Aldridge, Brido, Boishy, Schurter, Colombo, Amos, Avendetto. Then it's Andreasen, Saru, Schwartzbar, Forster, List, Kalelistap, Martin, Azaro, De Foimont, Vidari shuffle back there.
Yeah.
Could be a man to watch today. Well supported here by a load of Chilean fans going for that country's first ever UCI cross-country World Cup win, Martin Vidari today. This one is boiling up nicely and we are getting ready to go racing here at the opening UCI cross-country World Cup of the season in Araxá. And they are off and racing, but a false start from Adrian Boishy in the left-hand side of the screen. Charlie Aldridge streaks away from the line on the number 2, but it's Boishy's teammate, Christopher Blevins, who hits the bottom off the start-finish straight first.
Yeah, we saw Boishy go, stop, and now he's been completely swallowed back into the
What's happened there, Ollie? Was he watching the gun, maybe, not the lights?
No idea, but he tried to jump a little bit, I think, and yeah, but as a result, he's ended up pretty much near the back, so...
There's Lars Forster shaking his head as they head up the hill, so some of the big names getting shuffled back in the pack.
Good start for Aldridge as well, Blevins leading it out.
Blevins on the number 8, Specialized Racing. There's Colombo heading through. Nino Schurter looking to join his teammate. There's Martin Vidari just through our shot now in the red of Specialized Racing with the Red Bull helmet on.
What's going to be interesting, that front row, we had 2 Scots, we had 3 Specialised riders, and whether that tactics might kick in.
Andreassen's right up there in the mix as well, in the white and blue of the European champion at the front of the race.
He's on his Orbea team now as well.
Charlie Aldridge in 3rd place as they head up this climb for the first time, and this is where the attacks tend to be launched. And we can just see things getting congested down there. Koretsky back in the pack there in the white and the rainbow stripes of the UCI world champion.
Filippo Colombo just moved back a little bit. There was a load of comings together just on that corner before the climb. Some riders getting shuffled out of position. Mati Cesaro are there as well.
Mati Cesaro, one of the big names to swap teams this off-season as well, but the rider in 2nd place, Andreasen, took the lead of this race mid-air through here. The cross-country Olympic distance last time out.
But if you want to see someone looking super smooth on these doubles, Christopher Blevins, ex-BMX racer as well, super efficient.
Yep, the 2 riders at the front of this one currently, Blevins and Aldridge, they'd have these jumps much bigger if they had their way, as would Andreasen, I'm sure.
But good start for Matthias Flukiger as well, some rider that doesn't, massive fan of short track, but 4th as well. Nino Schurter as well, again, one of those riders as well that their mind's really on the Sunday, not today, but if they can get this top 8 front row gridding off the back of today, they'll be well chuffed. Vidari up to 10th now.
Yeah, Martin Vidari will be moving to the front of this one. One of the most well-supported riders here, as you could imagine, the Chilean.
Same as in the women's race. It goes off hard. We normally just get this little lull, and then there'll be a front group, maybe 10, 12, and it will kind of come back together and keep splitting.
Well, here they go then. Jenny Risford's watch is on behind the Shimano barrier there as they head across the line for the first time. Chris Blevins leads away from Simon Andreasen. Then it's Charlie Aldridge. Tess Flukiger right up in there as well.
Jordan Sarrou as well, good start for him. BMC team, the French rider as well, good history. Last year was just stalling a little bit.
Koretsky moving back up towards the front on the right-hand side. Stéphane Tempier roaring instructions on the side of the track.
But a key for these first few laps, it's not about getting away necessarily or breaking away, it's just about saving energy. I saw in the women's race, Richards running a fantastic race, coming back strong at the back end. You've only got a very small box of matches, you know, and you've got to work out when to expend your energy. Don't burn that box too soon.
And so easy just to get caught up with another rider here and get tangled up and have someone else's crash as well. We saw Blevins come unstuck at the bottom of this climb last year.
Yeah. Another rider still struggling to get back onto that front. Koretsky's working hard.
Look at Luca Martin right up there as well, making his elite debut. Charlie Aldridge's teammate in the number 16 on the back. Still ahead of Koretsky. But this is what Victor Koretsky wants. He wants to stay out of what's in your screen now. That sort of melee of riders all fighting for places. Aldridge moving up on the left-hand side now.
Yeah, and you see the power of Aldridge and also Koretsky just going up the outside of the line, making 4 or 5 positions just on that one section.
Andresen leads them onto the descent.
Yeah, this is where you want to be coming into that one. If you can just crest that climb first, it means you can come down here. You've got the pick of the line, pick of your speed. And then as you hit the start finish, you're not having to close and accelerate. It gives you that little micro recovery. You can have a drink before going again. Bit of a whip.
Andresen throwing whips out on the second lap of a cross-country short track World Cup, Ollie. Fast is fun, and if you've got that mental bandwidth to just be able to relax through those jumps, it can make such a difference.
Yeah, and just not being tense on the bike. And you know, if someone's thinking that way, they can enjoy it, then they know they're in a good place.
Simon Andresen, we asked him earlier in the weekend about just adjusting something there. Andresen on the bike looking down, has to take that B-line, so something not quite right, whatever's going on with that Orbea, but he's told us that you know, the team change, it really didn't make too much of a difference to him. He knew the bike was good, just got on it and got riding, but seems to be back up to speed now. There's Matisse Azaro, there's the Whoop Live comparison, 169 plays 154. Koretsky versus Sarrou, 172 now for Sarrou, so revving a bit higher than the UCI World Champion.
Luca Martin on Cannondale, like I say, under 23 world champion from last year, coming up into the big boys and doing a great race so far.
Luca Martin, his team manager, Phil Dixon, referred to him in an interview earlier on the week as the French dynamite. You never know what's going to happen with Martin.
You see Matisse Azaro as well, the French champ, just going up the outside.
Matisse Azaro on that new team, that Origin squad. Yeah, in the French national champs jersey, just looking so confident now at the front of this race.
And last year, I think he was the most improved. I'd give him the award for last year. At the start of the year, he wasn't even in Brazil. The team didn't bring him. And then he wasn't even in the top 40 to get into the short track. And then by the end of the year, improved and ended up getting second in the final XCO race.
Yeah, his then teammate Joshua Debow got injured here. But there's Matthäus Flückiger now at the front in the red. That all-action style, the shoulders starting to bob and wave a bit.
This is the dodgy bit. This is the chance of crashes, bars banging together. As they all fight for position for the climb.
It's narrow through there, both those lines off camber as well. Here we go, Ollie, just have a look at this. What's he looking at here?
I think playing with the rear shock a little bit, whether it was struggling to unlock or... I mean, they've got normally a lockout on the handlebar controlling the open and close on the front rear suspension. Maybe it just wasn't, you know, maybe sticking a little bit.
Here we go, back on the climb then. And at the front, Flückiger makes way for Azaro, who takes to the front of the race for the first time. Koretsky's right up at the sharp end now as well. Here we go, Azaro trading blows with Matthäus Flückiger, pedal for pedal up this climb.
Aldridge again having to push hard up the outside. It's Lukas Schwarzbauer, rider we've forgotten a little bit so far, coming up the outside.
Yeah, Schwarzbauer didn't have the season he wanted last time out, wants to get things rolling properly here. Azaro leads them into the jump line. They're all still together at the front of this one, but the pace just starting to lift slightly. Ollie, they're getting a bit strung out here.
Yeah, little gaps at the moment as Azaro pushes on. Christopher Blevins as well, 5th place at the moment in that line. And I put him down as that master tactician. You know, he's always in the right place. We saw him winning the cross-country in Maripora, the first round last year. Didn't waste a single bit of energy till he needed to attack.
And this will suit Blevins down the ground. Yeah. He raced BMX for over a decade before he got on a mountain bike, so well able through that jump section.
Yeah, second place here behind Koretsky, his teammate last year.
But how many times did we see this last season? The Jaws music is on for Mateusz Flückiger as Viktor Koretsky rolls towards the front, and the master of timing.
This front group just expanding again. Just looked like, I thought it might split a little bit on the descent, that front five pulling clear, but it just came back together on this grass section. No one wanting to take it on quite so early.
The Brazilian flag flies high here in Araxá as Mateusz Flückiger leads Matias Cesaro and Viktor Koretsky across the line.
Just at the outside, we see Andreasen, who lost position a little bit after that. He was riding at the front early on, drifted back, just fighting up the outside, and it's just getting a bit scrappy now.
Jordan Sarru now at the front. One of the couple of new foulers in this group. Mateusz Flückiger as well. Quietly admitting that they're not that disappointed to be in a quiet, cold hotel room.
For this bit now, really, really important. Probably the most important lap. We're at halfway. This big front group now, it's almost 30 riders back together again, and there's going to be a shuffling. Good chance of them being a few riders having to be forced to walk on this climb. So if you want to be in the front five now, 100%.
Well, here is the replay of the start. Watch Boissy on your left. So the UCI commissaires have ruled that it was a false start, but no advantage gained, so no action to be taken. And I just wonder if he was watching, I think that's what they're intimating. He was maybe watching the gun and not the lights.
Yeah, and Lars Forster behind him went to go as well and got completely stalled.
Tell you what, some bike riding from all those riders around him not to get caught up in that.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing when you think of it, especially they're so close together, and compared to a road bike, you've got the big wide handlebars that can get locked together. On a road bike, you just bang elbows instead, so.
Boissy leading the way, fastest lap of the race. Look how good Christopher Blevins, the rider in second place, is through these jumps, though, in the red of Specialized Racing. Andreasen, though, likes this place, likes Brazil, has some fond memories from last season, and is back at the front of this one on the Orbea.
Another rider we need to mention, Thomas Lichter as well, short track specialist.
Just has another look down at the bike there, Andreasen. Across that B line, not taking the A line across the gap, so doesn't seem to be affecting his lap time too much.
Someone he's not 100% happy with. Like I say, new team, new bike, might take a little bit more to dial in, or
as they head towards the start-finish line again on lap 4 out of 8 here, halfway into the first UCI cross-country short track World Cup of the season. And it's Christopher Blevins who leads Simon Andreasen, who leads Jordan Sarru.
You see the riders coming through the start-finish. If you're a bit further back, you just have to make such a big effort on this concrete, whereas the front 10, they're just cruising, having a little drink. And
it's not a long run to that start-finish line either. It's wide, but you haven't got a lot of track to work with if it does come to a sprint.
No, and I think it's almost the sprint will be before the corner rather than coming out of it.
When it comes to a sprint, I should have said.
You're pretty sure of that?
Yeah. I'm feeling fairly confident with the horsepower at the front of this one that if anybody tries to escape this group, it's going to be tough going. There is the Whoop Live, 181 plays 177 currently for Blevins versus Sarru.
Think of that. Just going that high line.
Think of that as a fuel tank getting slowly or rather quickly emptied.
But this is actually the most tactical part or technical part of this whole short track, is getting a position now.
And you can see Andreasen just sitting in the middle of the track there, giving himself options. They're free wide as they swing right on the base of the climb. Flückiger makes way for Sarru, but it's still Andreasen. Look on the right-hand side, though. Viktor Koretsky now heading towards the front of the race.
One rider you see there drifting back, Charlie Aldridge, then bangs into his teammate Luca Martin, forced to walk.
There's contact further back there, but Andreasen, look at the gear Andreasen's pushing up there out of the saddle.
Luca Schwarzbauer as well, just doing a good short track, just working his way through. Oh, it's Blevins getting really argy-bargy.
The rain has stopped, I can tell you that. No more rain outside the commentary booth window, just blue skies and some red-hot racing here in Araxá.
That was a big move by Blevins, really forcing his way through, elbow to elbow.
Blevins, second place. Good spot for him. Andreasen, though, chilling at the front.
I think it was Martin Vidari just working his way through as well. See the Red Bull lid.
Vidari in 6th place by our clocks here in the booth. There he is. So Vidari.
Yeah, it's taken him a while to move through to this front group, and a rider we know super capable.
Well, we said that Luca Martin's referred to as the French dynamite. Martin Vidari's kind of like a Chilean arms dump of some kind. Whenever he goes to the front of a race, he can detonate.
Yeah, and he's a racer's racer, right? Likes to just take it on. Not a lot of tactics.
He's one for the romantics, isn't he? He rides on feel, what's around him, and just what the eyes are seeing. Andreasen, though, second place, still looking ominous here. Here we go.
Blevins forcing his way through.
That is some fantastic racecraft from Blevins. Sneaks in front of Koretsky as well.
Yeah, that's punchy, that, taking the front wheel out of your teammate.
That looked gone down like an egg sandwich in a spacesuit. Two to go then. Blevins leads him across the line on the lap 6.
Oh, and again, sprayed all across the road.
Koretsky really battling with Blevins, looking like they're getting sucked into a little inter-team battle there.
But those guys have realised that they've got to stay near the front now. If you drift back now, if you're back in 10th or 12th when you hit that climb, the race is just going to get faster and faster over these next few laps.
Here we go then into this multi-line flatter section. There'll be a battle for position here, and the Specialized racing riders, Koretsky and Blevins, glued together in the front of your screens. There's Schwarzbauer towards the front now in the green jersey.
Schwarzbauer didn't have in the short track season that he had in 2023, but he was the man of the season in 23 and was almost unbeatable, you know.
He was always at the front as well, wasn't he? Just drove things on. Say Andreasen taking up that central position, but now Blevins goes round the outside of him. Koretsky getting a toe off his teammate.
You see Nino Schurter riding really well so far, always sitting in that front 8.
It's so congested back there, isn't it? And there's a Chilean flag waving for Martin Vidari. Vidari currently in 11th now by our screens, but they're all still together. UCI World Champion in third wheel at the minute.
Yeah, Luca Braido in 8th as well. One of the riders, really an XCO specialist, but again, we're talking about the race within a race. Someone wants to win this race, but also it's the gridding positions for Sunday's XCO, so a lot at stake.
Nino Schurter currently in 5th place, ahead of Azaro.
And Aldridge back 17th at the moment. Again, he just got caught up on that climb bit out of position.
Just watch the amount of speed, though, Chris Blevins can generate from the ground itself.
With the minimum amount of energy, that's the key. You know, he's just rolling, he's recovering, saving all his energy for that big attack on the climb.
That bike running SRAM's flight attendant suspension system. Bike adjusts itself throughout the race.
Like I say,
really high-tech things, these modern cross-country race bikes. As they head round, there's Martin Vidari in the red jersey. Slightly buried now.
Tess looking as well, just drifting back. He had a bad lap back to 16th.
Henrik Avancini banging the boards.
See the gaps just appearing. All these riders just having to really put in a big effort now. They're into time trial mode, whereas these front guys all still super tactical.
Have you ever seen a face that wants to be out there more than Henrik Avancini's right now in that last shot? It's still Andreasen and Blevins at the front of this one as they split into the multi-line section, and the two of them really have been commanding at the front of this, Ollie.
It's all getting a bit choppy.
Oh, look at Azaro going shoulder to shoulder with Blevins, shakes the head. Azaro not happy with that.
Blevins has got some sharp elbows tonight. He's not shy, he's pushing his way through when he needs to.
For a softly spoken man, he can make himself big when he wants to. There's Schurter on the right-hand side, though, as they head on to the base of this climb. Nino Schurter never won a UCI Short Track World Cup before.
Yeah, it's amazing, huh?
We had to check that 2 or 3 times, actually, because it sounds so implausible, but Schurter. Oh, look at Blevins up this climb now. Blevins taps it on. Only Azaro can go with him. Then it's Saru, then Andreasen.
Smart move. Go along, try and
create Koretsky bobbles, unclips to the left-hand side of the track. Koretsky in trouble.
And it'll be interesting if Blevins can just go and pull a few guys free, they can work together.
If Chris Blevins gets that bit of news, it could be flat out from here on lap 7 in Araxá.
Jordan Saru, Andreasen trying to follow, little gaps appearing.
Andreasen just looks so relaxed on the bike. Look at Chris Blevins out front. Colorado native.
You see Matis Azaro, the rider that can counter pretty relatively easily.
Watch Koretsky here, Ollie, talk us through it.
Just on the outside, just coming through, just catches the wheel of Nino as they both try to get that Cop corner. And I mean, you're losing 10 places, 12 places, and also it's taking the riders out from behind now.
He's got history with that climb as well from the cross-country Olympic race last season. It really did. You get the feeling cost him it. Andreasen taking the win, but meanwhile, back at the front.
But you make your own luck on that climb. You know, if you come in 8th place, the chance of having something like that is miles more likely than if you're in 2nd or 3rd. You know?
I look forward to you telling them that later in the hotel this evening. Lap 7 out of 8 then. And they head on to the final lap. And this is where it is about to get very, very noisy here in Araxá. Koretsky, though, fighting his way back onto the front of this race. Never knows when he's beaten the Frenchman.
Thomas Litcher as well, so had to start at the back, 40th on the grid.
Azaro in the French national champions colours.
And they're back on.
Back on as
Possibly
well.
helpful as well, you know, Blevins was at the front, could look behind.
Oh, Andreasen just getting blocked as he went onto the bridge there. Schurter still in amongst it. Here they go, though. This is where we've seen attacks launched from in the past. Koretsky now back at the front. How has he done that?
And just bear in mind, he had to make a really big effort to close the gap, so that's going to have taken a little bit of a sting out of his legs.
You're about to see Victor Koretsky make that specialised, wider than a transit van up this climb, just to slow everyone else down and get a bit of a recovery they head on to the base to Clover.
Right, hold on tight.
Look at Blevins on the right-hand side, digging deep. It's a drag race up the bottom of the climb. Blevins goes past Koretsky. Azaro slots in behind the UCI World Champion. But Blevins goes again, kicks again up this climb.
Wow, what an attack by Blevins. The fact they were able to get that position as well.
He hasn't shaken Koretsky, though. Victor Koretsky doesn't know when he's beaten. Azaro, his compatriot, slotting in 3rd behind him.
Be interested to see now 2 specialised teammates are going to play any tactics. Or happy to drag Azaro to the line.
Koretsky only finished outside the top 2 in short track once last season, and even that was only a 4th place. But Blevins, though, has put some distance between them on the jumps.
Be interested to see if Blevins, or Koretsky just backs off a little bit.
Blevins looks to have a couple of bike lengths to play with here, but we've just seen the overall title holder ride his way back into the front of the race with very, very little space to do it in. Here we go.
But the team tactics here would be just let the gap appear, make Azaro chase, don't drag Azaro to the line.
Azaro looking like he's struggling to stay with the pace off Blevins and Koretsky. Koretsky closes right back up on Blevins, they nearly touch. Koretsky and Blevins, elbow to elbow, Blevins leads in. Turns right, Koretsky is the inside line. Blevins keeps the lead, 1 quarter to go, and then they're going to go shoulder to shoulder on this start-finish straight. Chris Blevins lights the blue touch paper, takes off away from Victor Koretsky. Blevins gets the job done in Araxá. Pick the bones out of that one. Victor Koretsky in 2nd place, Matisse Azaro in 3rd. Take absolutely nothing away from the racecraft of Chris Blevins on the final part of that lap.
And I was talking team tactics. There was no team orders there. That was head-to-head.
That was mano a mano.
Wow.
Winner Christopher Blevins says it all. Specialised racing, just as they did last time we were in Brazil. Get the year off to a flying start. Koretsky, not for the first time in his career, has to settle for 2nd in Araxá, but you saw him, Ollie. He sat up and celebrated that 2nd place, and look at this.
Reverse of last year here. Matas Azaro, great race. Third position and ride of the day, I think. If you go out from those big factory teams, Thomas Licher, 4th place, had to start 40th on the grid, so unbelievable race.
Huge, huge result from Licher. Saru in 5th, Andreas in 6th, Brido 7th, Schurter in 8th, Aldridge 9th, Forster rounding out the top 10. Dario Lillo in his elite debut up in 11th. Big ride from him.
Yeah, like I say, Nino rode a really good short track, sitting there, that top 10, front row position for tomorrow.
Look at Azaro. Just beginning to think this may well be his year. Koretsky was as far back as 10th whenever he left the frontal arc climb. Here we go, you see Boischi's false start on the left-hand side. How they've managed to cut a highlights package of this one, I don't know. Blevins was superb throughout. He and Andreasen really set the tempo. Koretsky had to dig deep, but watch this. This was millimeters away from disaster. Blevins got pushed out wide, but still managed to cut back inside. Put in absolutely every ounce of faith in the front wheel of that Specialized. Got the job done. His first cross-country short track win since 2022. Exactly the same scenario as last time we were here, with the results switched. Blevins by 1 second from Koretsky. Then it was Azaro, Licher, Saru, Andreasen, Brido, Schurter, Aldridge, Forster. 13 seconds covering the top 10. 2 seconds covering the top 3. Lillo, superb ride on his elite debut. Brandl, Zanotti, Vidari back in 14th. Least, Feudal, Moyer. But really these two will take all the plaudits. Let's hear from Christopher Blevins now.
Chris Blevins, congratulations. What a way to kickstart the season, and what a battle out there with Viktor Koretsky. Talk us through that final lap for us.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Victor's Victor. He's a champion. I love having him as a teammate. So a little bit of deja vu when I was on his wheel on that grass section. And that just gives you, I mean, it's one of the best feelings in the world, you know? When you're going for that last lap and you're about to battle with a teammate who you live this with. So, yeah. And then I was feeling really good on that kick and then the jumps as well. So I wanted to lead there and try to hold it off, which is a hard thing to do with Victor behind you.
How much were you aware of what was going on behind you or around you while you're trying to attack?
Yeah, I mean, short tracks, you know, World Cup short tracks are such a fight for position the whole time. Kind of made an effort to be more intentional, be more of a fighter, like don't give up positions. Oftentimes I think I try to surf the wheels. This time I've spent more time in the wind than I usually do, but that paid off for me.
Well done today, congratulations.
Thank you.
Fantastic interview from Chris Blevins. They're just giving you an insight into the mental computations that are going on with his heart rate at threshold. Blevins leads the way then after the first round of the season in the short track UCI World Cup standings. Ahead of Koretsky, Azaro, Licher, Saru, the top 5. Luca Martin on his debut, 19th in those standings. Matthias Flukiger led early, faltered back to 20th. He'll go well tomorrow though. Riley Amos back in 26th. Well, let's hear from the UCI World Champion Viktor Koretsky, second place to his teammate today.
Victor, what a battle. What a way to kick things off. You dropped back to 10th position after you won Clip. So how pleased are you to finish in second today?
I think, yeah, I was always on a good position on the front, but then at 2 laps to go, I did a mistake on the uphill. because before I was a bit pushed by someone else, and then I was not so concentrated and so focused on the small kicker. And it was the moment who Chris decided to attack, so I lost a few seconds and in a few places, but then I managed to close the gap on the last lap, and yeah, I think I was maybe 10th on the finish line. And yeah, for me, it was not the last lap full gas, but almost 1.5 lap full gas. So at the end, I was completely empty. But yeah, congrats to Chris. It's amazing to finish first and second for specialized team. And yeah, it's amazing.
Some really exciting racing, especially on that last lap when you were just going against it, loads of elbows involved. How much do you enjoy being out there?
It was funny, but I didn't wanted to do any mistakes on these few last corners. So yeah, we just keep the position, and it's a win for specialized factory racing team. So that's the most important.
Sets you up well for tomorrow's race as well.
Yeah.
Well done today. Congratulations and go well tomorrow.
Thank you.
Well, Victor Koretsky is a born winner, but if he's going to lose to anyone, his teammate, there's another one of his teammates, Martin Vidari, celebrating with the fans. 14th today for Vidari. We saw him light up the cross-country Olympic race last time we were here. May well choose to do so again tomorrow. And look at this for a set of lap times. Victor Koretsky's second fastest lap of the race was the one he unclipped and had that bobble on, was completely off the bike and still clocked his second fastest lap. Blevins, fastest lap, first one. Excuse me, the last one. Azaro, really good set of numbers from him as well, involved right from the start, Matisse Azaro, and you just wonder, could he be in with a shout at an overall title in the short track this season? Two absolutely cracking races to get us underway in here in Araxá. Plenty more to come tomorrow when we go cross-country Olympic. UCI World Cup racing. First of all, the under-23s, then the elites. And if that was anything to go by this afternoon, it's well worth tuning in for. Araxá just gets better and better. Matisse Azaro, third place today for his brand new team. Let's hear from him now.
Congratulations, what a result. Third position here in Brazil. What a way to get things underway.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do the same as last year. I finished with a podium in Mont Saint-Anne, so to start the season like this, it's the perfect way. And also, it's the first World Cup for the team and first podium. So yeah, it's a huge congrats to all the team and the sponsor because they worked really hard since a while. So I'm really happy to bring this for all the team, and I am super happy for me as well.
How much confidence does this result give you moving forward tomorrow?
Yeah, for sure, it gives me the confidence. I can feel I am in shape. I really look forward also for tomorrow. So yeah, I can't wait to start first row and yeah, fight in the front until the finish. Yeah.
Can't wait to watch you. Well done.
Yeah, thanks.
Big ride from Matisse Azaro. One of the most dangerous all-rounders really in modern cross-country mountain bike racing. Can do it over both distances. As the fans watch on, waiting to get the elite podiums underway. Coverage starts tomorrow with the under-23s. I can tell you, the podiums can't be too far off because the Michelin man's just walked past me. And there is the Grand Hotel Araxá, famous throughout Brazil. It's Firme Spa. Stunning grounds that play host to this absolutely superb racecourse. Ollie Beckinsale rates it as the most difficult of the season. Extremely technical. Chris Blevins not scared on the second half of that last lap. Mathieu Cesaro there, greeted by his former teammate, Samara Maxwell. Victor Koretsky just getting into some slightly fresher attire. That's about to be soaked in champagne. But when you're a UCI World Champion, it's always fresh jersey o'clock, isn't it?
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Samara Maxwell helping the production team along there. And there are, I'm going to say it, the world famous capybaras. You wouldn't think a giant rat had that many fans, but these things do. There he is, Benjamin's there. The Origin team, new for the Whoop UCI Mountain Bike World Series this season. The company itself, 10 years old. Maxime Marot heading up their race program. What a reward it will be for them. And it'll relieve a bit of tension as well. Azaro, superb last season, and it's always a case of that difficult second album. But well able for it today here in the short track. Mathieu Cesaro then takes to third place for the Origin team. Koretsky beaten today, but still happy with that. Boatload of points into the account, get the season off and running. UCI World Champion, Specialized Factory Racing in second place. Listen to this for his teammate, Chris Blevins. Spent some time in the wind, got the elbows sharpened up, and rode an absolutely superb race, start to finish. Blevins in the conversation right from the get-go. And that final lap battle with his teammate Victor Koretsky could so easily have gone wrong if it wasn't for how talented those two are on a cross-country mountain bike. Blevins, Koretsky, Azaro, your top three here today. The champagne flies for the first time in 2024. They get their own capybaras to take home with them as well.
Congratulations, gentlemen. In a few moments, we'll have our award ceremony for our season leader. First up in Araxá.
As we get ready for the elite women's podium. Let's have a look at how Christopher Blevins kicked things off, just leant in there. Two big men going for the same patch of dirt. Koretsky knew quite quickly that the American just had that couple of more kilometers per hour as he hit that finish straight. Specialized, huge brand here in South America, as they are everywhere else in the world, and delighting their many fans today. Christopher Blevins just about getting into that overall points leaders jersey. The full colour jerseys, new for this season, for the overall points leaders. So Blevins leads the way in the overall points competition, then ahead of Koretsky by 50 points. Then it's Azaro, Litcher, Saru, Andreessen, Brido, Schurter, Aldridge and Forster. How impressed was that though? Dario Lillo on his elite debut, up in 11th place in the points already. Brandl Zanotti, Vidari behind him. List rounds out the top 15. Carter Woods also making his debut in 22 behind his teammate Jens Shermans. Cole Punchard, another debutant for Cannondale Factory Racing, rounds out the top 30. Sandra Keller. There were some question marks around in that ACL surgery, and then I believe there was some salmonella in the camp early doors on their first arrival here in Brazil, and it was never in doubt. Keller, class act as always, and this is how this woman wins titles. Spends the year hoovering up points. Keller, third place today for Thomas Maxson. Maxwell on the podium for the first time of Askin this season. The Oceania Continental Champion, cross-country, short track and Olympic distances. 8th for the Olympics in Ellen Court for this woman last time out. Evie Richards, the UCI cross-country short track world champion, heads onto her first top step of this UCI World Cup season. Rode absolutely superbly today, Richards. Perfect blend of tactics and aggression. Richards from Maxwell from Keller then at the first cross-country short track UCI World Cup of the season. The first elite women's cross-country podium of the season. The champagne flies.
And don't go in a few moments. We are going to have the presentation of our
Richards blinded by it. Has to be helped down off the podium by Samara Maxwell. Gets to take home the capybara of victory. It was a fast and frenetic start, as always, at the opening round of the UCI Cross Country Short Track World Cup. Richards, Keller and Samara Maxwell, the class of the field. And Richards just wound on the pressure on the last lap and got the job done by a couple of bike lengths from Samara Maxwell, who couldn't believe that she just clocked second place ahead of Alessandra Keller, last year's overall title winner. Evie Richards, just as she did in 2024, starts the year with a bang. Richards takes the red jersey of the UCI World Cup overall leader then, as we head to round 2 back here next weekend. Got a few jerseys to juggle now, Evie Richards. Here's how that overall points chase look. Richards, Maxwell, Keller, Kohler and Fry, your top 5 in those standings after just one round. Sophie Heavy-Pedersen up in the elites for Villiers Victoria. Lindindragan, second here last year, hadn't settled with 15th today. Kelsey Urban, the US national champion for KMC Ridley, in 24th. Emily Johnson, 22nd for Scott Schramm, MTB Racing, her new team. Let's hear from Decathlon Fords. Samara Maxwell, she's down there now.
Sammy, second in the first race of the season. I can see how emotional you are about it. Talk us through what's going through your mind.
It's been a pretty long journey to get here. Just with a lot of doubts and just wondering how I'm getting here, and the team's been amazing. It's just, this is for everyone who's believed in me and stuck by my side. There's been a bit of time where I couldn't race and I really doubted if I would get here, so to get here means so much. So for Beck back in Oz and my parents and the support team around me, my team, Cycling New Zealand, just everyone,
Would you say this is one of your career best results?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was looking at just like first, second, third, and just was like, oh yeah, third is mine. And then I realised I didn't even get third, I got second. So, just thanks to everyone back home. Thinking of you, Joe and Crunchy as well,
How much confidence does this give you of what you can achieve?
So much, I was talking to my manager and he was like, you've got some good form, just believe in yourself. And you never do, right? Like, I remember going up the last climb and I was just like, I'm fighting for Evie Richards for a World Cup win. Like, it's just crazy.
Special, take it all in, well done.
Thanks so much, thank you everyone.
Hugely emotional Samara Maxwell then, back in 2023. She arrived at her first UCI World Cup, still a privateer. Got the UCI World Champion stripes, got snapped up by Decathlon Ford. The rest is history. Here's the future, Lou. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central European time, under 23 women cross country Olympic UCI World Cup racing. Racing through out the afternoon and into the evening then. Elites off from 6:30 Central European time. And then at 8:30, cross country Olympic UCI World Cup racing, elite men. And if those races today are anything to go by, you do not want to miss a second. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Not that bad a way to start.